Okay.
And now I just suddenly felt very small.
You're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
gotta come down to your level.
Hello. Today I'm here with the wonderful Will Carne.
Hello.
So what are we planning on talking about today?
So today, I think we're going to talk about stigma and mental health.
Yes.
Things like that, because that's an exciting topic.
It is. It's exciting and not at all deep and existential.
Yes.
At all.
Bear with us,
I'm
everyone.
fine. So I've always been like pretty open about talking about my mental health. But not so much on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I've always found that's a bit scary. Like, as soon as I put it on YouTube, it's there. Like...
Forever. What are your, like, reservations between talking about mental health on YouTube?
I think... So it's just the, like, the kind of scarily permanent aspect of it. The fact that I can't just, like... If I tweet about it, Twitter's like an abyss.
It's gone.
It's gone. Like, within 20 minutes...
Is it because people can watch it, like, anonymously, and you don't know who's
seeing
seeing
it? I think that's it, yeah.
And so you feel like quite vulnerable because you're like, who's seen this video
yeah,
about
literally,
me?
like, what is this number? That's 100? 100? That's like...
But why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think it...
I don't understand.
Me neither.
We've
Me neither,
set off
man.
Siri, everyone. Sorry.
I also don't understand.
Do you think it would be the same for like a physical illness? Or do you think it's just because it's a mental illness?
I think it is because it's a mental illness, because if it's physical, like, I don't know, people instinctively have more sympathy for you because it's something they can see. Or that's how I feel. I was talking to my flatmates about an issue I was having with, like, my sleep being really heavy and how that was all linked with, like, my meds, and I felt like until the point where I was, like, just hysterically crying because I just couldn't, like, handle it, I don't think they, like, took it as seriously as I felt it was. But as soon as, like, they kind of saw that I was really struggling, they kind of instinctively was like, right, well, this doctor's surgery's open, you can sign up, you have to do this, you have to do this. Like, they were amazing.
Yeah.
But until that point, it was just very, like, oh, she's just a bit upset, like, you know.
See, I've done a lot of, like, research on different mental health, and everyone's brains respond to stress in, like, different ways.
Yeah.
And so some people can, like, just become really angry, or they just shut down and they become really quiet.
Somehow I'm both.
Some people, well,
somehow I'm both of those.
I've always wanted to be the kind of person who naturally just burst into tears when they're upset or stressed, because I think it's such a good way to signify to everyone around you that something's wrong.
Guys, that was like me in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't even like know I had anxiety because I just like always cried. And now I look back and I'm like, well, shit. Like, all of those like times I just was upset and like yelling and crying in like year 7, year 8, year 9, that's anxiety. And I like had no idea. I just thought, oh, it's just Emmy being Emmy, you know?
And does a part of you feel like you accept that that's sort of a problem you have and you can own up to it, or you still feel like
it
guilty for it?
It took me a long time to get to a point where I could be like, yeah, it's definitely something that is an issue, and it's definitely something I need to do something about. I was recently working on a project for uni where I was looking back at a lot of my old videos about homesickness and stuff, and I kind of look back at these videos and I'm like, how did I not know that I needed to talk to anyone about it? Like, there's literally a video of me crying, looking right into the camera, being like, I hate this, I'm not happy, and still didn't do anything about it for another 2.5 years, which is insane to me.
I think the stigma that I found is because it feels like it's all inside your head.
Yeah.
Then it's quite hard to... I don't think we're taught very much about how our brains work. Mm-hmm. And the way I've learned about it since I got ill with anxiety is it's so boring. Like, it's such a brain chemistry, like, physical thing.
But it can change. It affects
that
everything.
Feels like from the inside you feel like, oh, everything's going wrong. What's going on? You have a little panic attack. But from the outside, with like a trained professional looking at you, they're just like. Imagine your head's a computer. You just feel like you want to turn it off and on again. You know when your computer has a little moment and it like, has a little panic and you get the
My computer is constantly having a panic and I emotionally relate.
Like, but as a human being, you can't turn yourself off and on again. I
wish I could. Everyone experiences panic attacks and anxiety attacks differently. For me, panic attacks are just when my entire body just shuts down. Like, my hands are just all, like, fuzzy and, like, numb.
From what I've learned, it's that when the brain is, like, so stressed to a point, and anything can stress it out, it's like a fight or flight response. I like to see it for me, because I used to have these panic attacks where I would, like, freeze. And then I'd call myself, you know those goats, that when you scare a goat and they, like, freeze and fall over? It's like that kind of response. It's such a, like, visceral, like, evolutionary response that you have.
It's just a full, like, shut down.
And it affects different people. But as soon as it's worked, and by worked it means that as soon as you've had that response and your body feels better, it will continue doing it. And so you'll, like, keep having panic attacks. Because you kind of think it works.
Yeah, exactly. So I think so far this year I've had 2 panic attacks. But I think I also only had 2 panic attacks last year. And in 2017, one of the medications I started gave me so many panic attacks. I literally had like 5 in one day once. It was really scary. Like, I was just on my friend's sofa watching Love Actually, and my body just goes, nope. And it was, very upsetting, because I really wanted to watch Love Actually.
As we all do.
I know you feel very strongly about Love Actually as well, so we're on the same page there. But yeah, like, my body just completely just shut down. Like, I couldn't move. Like, it was at a point where, like, my hands just stayed, like, stuck, clenched.
And I don't think that they're something like panic attacks and anxiety is something that... There's a stigma against it, of it being something that you can be embarrassed to talk about. I think it's recognising that if someone is having panic attacks, that's a problem and something that you need to, like, seek help for. But it's also something you need to be able to be open about.
100%.
And for me, I found it, I need to be able to tell my friends and tell my family and be able to say, hey, I can't come out tonight because I'm in the red zone. I need to stay at home and just lie down and, like, chill out and let my brain kind of come back down
to, like, a normal level.
I like to think of it as if you'd, like, broken your leg and you're on crutches. All your friends, I remember back at school when someone was on crutches, there'll be a friend who'd, like, come with you and carry your bag. Do you remember that?
You got to leave class like 5 minutes early. It was the best.
I feel like that has to transfer over to mental health, because generally people shouldn't be having panic attacks their whole life. Like, it's something that's treatable over time, once you've kind of learned the different techniques for you. But while you're, like, in that state, I feel like we need to be able to be open and honest with friends. And have them carry the bag in the see the metaphor.
Ooh.
I just I'm really sorry.
You should be.
But which kind of comes back, I think, to what we were saying at the start, which is about what,
like, the stigma. Why is it different to if someone's got a broken leg or if someone's got, like, a physical disability?
But when I got ill and I had to tell my family, and they obviously helped me get better, there was this almost awkwardness and tension over talking about it, and I had to be like, Will is very ill right now and we have to kind of talk about it. But there was this sort of,
it took me a really long time. It took me a really long time to admit that I was, like, ill. I remember having a conversation with someone. It wasn't a nice conversation. It was definitely not how the conversation should have went, and it really, like, threw me off for a long time. We were having a conversation. My friend was like, Emmy, you're not okay. You're not well. You're making it worse for insert person. Like, you need help. You're not okay. And throughout this entire conversation, I am just sobbing. Like, I can't breathe. Like, I've got an awful headache, and though it is what I needed to hear, I definitely needed to hear it in a lot lighter way than, yes, you're making it bad for all of your friends. Like, that's not it at all. But after that, so I think that was the very end of 2016. A month or so later, I first went to the doctor about, like, maybe getting something for it, and I didn't start meds until I think 6-7 months later. But I mean, it was something that I needed, but having it put in the phrase of you're ill, you're not well, was terrifying. It was so scary. I mean, it's true, because it shouldn't just be taken as, like, a really light issue, because it's not.
I think using the word illness for me just means that I'm not in a healthy state. And I think if you can only, like you said, looking back, you can only kind of objectively look at yourself after you've been ill and been like, I was so unwell, like I couldn't do
like
things.
how did I not pick that up again?
Like, but I think it is helpful to label yourself as ill.
Yeah.
I now don't have a problem of saying to people,
yeah, now I'm like,
I'll come on board on like this project with you. It's going to be really cool, but just so you know, I'm a bit ill at the moment, so like, don't.
I do that in a minute as well. Like, whenever I start a new, like a new unit or whatever at uni, I kind of go to the lecturers that are in charge, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, this has been an issue. Currently, it's not an issue, but it can be at any given point. So just so you know, sorry. Like, if I'm suddenly like MIA for like a few weeks, it's not because I've stopped giving a shit. It's because I can't give a shit. Like, I've got to look after myself before that.
Yeah.
Like, going to a workshop on web design is not my priority when I don't even want to get out of bed to eat food for like 2 days.
But it's such a common problem.
But yeah, it is such a common problem.
And especially, I think with people our age in university and sort of people around here, I think it's a big problem just because there's so many stresses on us. And think of your poor brain. How your poor brain. Like, you make it work 7 days a week. You're then constantly on like social media and thinking like, am I good enough? Is everyone good enough? And FOMO and like, then you're on a tube with loads of other people and it's hot and loud and like, you're just going through telling yourself, just deal with it and stop complaining.
Yeah,
your
but that's not it. Like,
give it a hug.
Right? I mean, I wish I could do that, but I don't think that's quite how it
Buy a
works.
hug, have a day off, lie on a sofa,
yeah,
have your favourite food and like watch Netflix for a day.
Yeah.
The steps to like breaking down the stigma is by understanding what is wrong, in the sense of understanding physically kind of the causes of what causes mental health and
also
and the treatments.
And not comparing yourself to other people,
Yeah.
whether that's like a more physical disability or issue, or just comparing yourself to someone else who's got like anxiety and depression or something. Just be like, oh well, I only have anxiety, they've got anxiety and depression, so it's not as bad, other people have it worse. Like, it's still important.
So at the end of this conversation, almost, do you feel like you are now able to talk about
definitely
your
more once
anxiety
I've
online?
posted this? I know,
because this is a big step. You haven't really talked about.
I've spoken about like the odd panic attack online, I think. I did a video last year of just things that like I felt like I wanted to hear. But definitely talking about it is important, and it's like the same with me talking about my sexuality. Once I'd started talking about it, it's out there.
You can't
I've
stop
done it.
her.
I can't stop.
She's
There's
on
no stopping
Sky, she's on everything. She just won't, you know. We're like, Emmy, we get it.
Can't shut me up.
Oh.
But yeah, talking about it for the first time is what's the hardest. And not worrying about who's going to see it, because like, it's stuff I talk about anyway. Like, I've definitely had conversations with my mum about mental health recently.
I feel like a good way of putting it is the reason people want to talk about their sexuality and talk about their mental health and their issues is because these are parts of them.
Yeah, it's
personal. That they need to, like, that is bothering them. And I think anything, you want to be able to share your life in every part of your different friends.
Yeah,
and if that's bothering you, you should be able to just share it. And it's not to the extreme of, like, you wanting attention and being like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
it's just,
I'm so attention-seeking. This
God,
is what
Emmy.
I want in life.
I mean, it's with YouTubers,
I
it's
know,
like the
but
definition. But
there are strategies and you can manage. As I said, counselling never worked out for me, but I found that a medication has just kind of got me on a level where I can now kind of almost function how I feel like I should have been functioning for the last like 5 years.
Yeah, there's a massive stigma against medication that I think is kind of attached to the stigma against mental health as a whole. So when I started on medication, I was terrified about it changing my personality, because I'm like, I'm taking something that is affecting my brain, I'm not going to be the same person. And it's just not the case. Again, it's really boring. It's really boring.
It's very
like
basic
taking
stuff.
Antibiotics. There's a problem. You don't have a lack of a chemical.
Like,
it gives you some more.
Yep.
I love how the takeaway from this video is mental health is really boring. So stop being nervous about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is about it. Thank you very much for joining me today and making me be a little bit more open about mental health.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online?
So people can find me on youtube.com/Carne. The reason I've invited Emmy into this very fancy little filming thing today...
With the lights that are way too bright and are really hurting me.
It's the sun. Is I'm releasing a film, or I've just released a film called...
It's very good.
Called Dear Will Carne.
There it is.
It's over there.
There we go.
Which is all about basically what we've been talking about today. So it's about like mental health and sort of just opening up. It's a feature film though, it's like an hour, so... It's
very good. I
get
very
yourself
much
a cup of tea, sit down, have a watch if you so wish. But yeah, so that's where you can find me.
Information for that will also be in the description. And yeah, hopefully see you again soon.
Yeah,
Thank you
for
for
really
being
fun.
on my channel. This is
Thanks
cute.
for having me. This
Long
was
time
really
overdue
fun.
collab, pretty much.
I know.
But yeah, I'll see you whenever the fuck I make another video. We'll see, because I don't really know, and I never really know.
Wow. Schedule. Where is she?
Who needs her? Not this bitch.